In my last video, I was exploring this reality that so many of us live with regard to control and feeling like we don't have control over our life, over the events in our life. And something that comes up a lot when I'm working with women is the impact of their to-do list and one more area that feels like is out of our control. Like the to-do list tends to be something in the form of a should. It comes from our mind with regard to, okay, what do I got to get done today? And it could be anything, right? It can be anything. But it very rarely includes things that bring us joy or are fun. It's funny how fun things do not make it to the to-do list. It's like, well, when I get all these things done that I should get done today, whether I have the energy or not, whether I have the resources or not, right? And so it's like, I don't deserve to enjoy life or do anything fun until I have done these things. And we're often taught that when we're young. We're taught, you can't go play until you do your chores. Now, there's nothing bad or wrong about that. But as adults, we get to look at ourselves. We get to be in control, though. Now, it's probably not going to help us, right, if we're avoiding all the things we need to do and just zoning out or having that's all we're doing, right, is having fun. But I would say, though, that most of us could use a really big shift in the way our to-do list controls us. And almost like it's has its own power. And it's so amazing because we create it, but it's what part of ourselves is creating it. So all the shoulds about what you should do in your day always come from your mind. And it is dictated by rules, beliefs, all of which are outside of ourselves and that we did not consciously create. That may not make a lot of sense. So what I mean by that is, when we're little, we're taught things by our parents. There are rules, parents and teachers and whatever that looks like, that here's how this works. You do this, you get rewarded. You do this, you don't do this, and you get there's negative consequences, or maybe some parents use punishments, whatever. And that was our reality, and we had to survive that. So we didn't have the freedom when we were kids to do everything the way that we wanted to do it. But as an adult, it's nice to be able to put on the pause button, look at the choices you make in your life, like living by a to-do list. If you feel that you live by a to-do list, you don't feel good about it, you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you feel tight, you feel shut down, excuse me, then it's not working for you. So I'm here to offer some other ideas about that, and I'll be making some other videos to follow this one even. But just begin to just from a curious place, take a step back, look at the bigger picture. Are you motivated? Are you energized to do the things on your list? Are you avoiding some of the things on your list? And how do you feel? Because like I said before, everything's about how we feel. You don't have to feel bad day after day after day. But if you are being controlled by a list, anything that is from a disconnected place, and I have a lot I want to share and talk about with regard to, so how do we shift that? And so at a practical level, I'll say a couple things about that right now, that we have to get out of the head and into the heart. And this relates to the use of the heart coherence tool, where you begin to connect with your heart, putting one or both hands there, taking some breaths, some visualization if you feel good with that, bringing up something that you appreciate in the world from the past, something you want to be able to do, a child, a puppy, like it could be anything, and create those warm and fuzzy feelings in your body. Then tune in, right? If you have a question you want to get answered, even your to-do list, what's going to serve my highest good for me today that I can focus on, that I have the energy to do? And this can get tricky, right? Because there might be some big things on your list that you feel like you're never going to want to do. But trying to, push your way through it isn't going to work. It's much better to go on the other side of it and even ask the question, how could I get more inspired to do this? Or what is it that's feeling so hard about this? Get more connected. This is what I do with my clients and some of the teachings I'm trying to offer in videos, because it's so simple. It can feel so complex, and it can be complex, but it's only as complex as we make it. And sometimes we just don't know what we don't know. So knowing there's other options, there's other ways than the way that we're doing it. I stopped doing to-do lists a long time ago. I wake up and I go, okay, what's my energy? And something I heard recently, it was in like a form of a podcast, was if you tell yourself you're going to do something, then do it. And if you don't, you're letting yourself down and it breaks trust. I'm like, wow, that's so true and so powerful. And give yourself a range instead of, well, I'm going to clean out my whole car tomorrow or today, and I didn't even check in with my energy level. And then it's like, oh no, it's too hot, or I don't have the resources, I don't have the tools, like whatever it was. Maybe I didn't think it through. That came from this. I really should clean my car, it's filthy, but I didn't think it through. So instead, I'd like to get my car cleaned by the end of this weekend, and follow through with yourself, for yourself. So many of us who put other people first, that's kind of often the women I love to work with. It's like they have a long-standing pattern where they won't honor themselves, take care of themselves. They just work for themselves, working for a boss, or even their job, which is kind of for them. But I mean in the way of like, what would feel good to me? I'd like to go for a walk. I'd like to go, see a movie, or whatever you'd like to do. That we get so depleted because we're taking care of everybody else. And just in the same way that you wouldn't want to let someone else down, you matter. You matter more than anything. And focusing on you is perfectly okay. And if you don't believe that, it's something, if you so are open to it, it's something to really explore. We're taught, don't be selfish. What is the definition of selfish? That you focus on your needs? Why is that not okay? So, but we're taught these things, and this is my point, is be aware. What are your beliefs in these different circumstances? And when you make a commitment, do your best. Or don't promise yourself the thing. Just be really real. Oh, I've been so tired lately. I don't have the energy to do a bunch of physical things. Well, then don't go commit to going to the gym or something that isn't in alignment with your energy level. It will change your life. Bit by bit, day by day, it will change your life. I know that when I don't want to do something and I decide to do a push through, oh my gosh, it'll take me longer. I won't do it as well. I do that with making these videos. I only make them when I'm feeling inspired and energized. You can feel my energy just like other people can feel your energy. You can tell when someone's really in it. And it really matters how you show up and where your energy is, whether you're more open, compassionate, loving, that kind of thing, versus stressed, shut down, overwhelmed. All of these are natural states. There's nothing bad or wrong. If you're feeling overwhelmed and tired and stressed, take care of yourself from that place. So just, consider these different ways of seeing things. See what fits for you. It's so important. You discern. And sometimes we really have to listen to these kinds of new ideas for a while before they start to feel okay as another possibility or another truth. It took me a long time to get out of what I call the ego, the mind. A lot of people would call it the ego, and all those shoulds. Ego wants approval. It wants to be liked. It wants to feel competent. And so when you start looking at some of these other ways of seeing things, the ego might go, oh, no, you can't let that go. And it can be very sneaky, it can be really subtle. And it's this, call it automatic pilot. A lot of us use that term where we're in it all the time and we don't know we're in it. But if you start getting out of your head, which is so nice about, I love YouTube and watching videos and listening, to people talk about different ways to see things, or like what's really going on with this thing. And I have so many aha moments that I just get so inspired to make my own videos. And I'd love to know more about what you want help with, questions about things I'm talking about. If it's in my realm that has to do with, I want to feel better, I'm struggling, I'm trying to figure out how to change a dynamic I'm in, starting to look at your purpose in the world. Why am I here? What does all this mean? These are things, that's my groove right now. And so, it's going to be for the rest of my life. It might look differently as time goes on, but so please reach out. I would love to hear from you. And I just hope you're having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.